بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين وما بعد. قال المصنف رحمه الله تعالى في كتابه رياض الصالحين. Abu Zakaria Yahya bin Sharaf al-Nawawi says in his book Riyadh al-Salihin, entitled The Gardens of the Righteous, in the chapter Bab Fadl Birr Asdiqa al-Ab, the chapter of the virtue of being good to the friends of the father. عن أبي أسيد مالك بن ربيعة الساعدي رضي الله عنه قال بين نحن جلوس عند رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم إذ جاءه رجل من بني سلمة فقال يا رسول الله هل بقي من بر أبوي شيء أبرهما به بعد موتهما؟ فقال نعم، الصلاة عليهما واستغفار لهما وإنقاذ عهدهما من بعدهما وصلة الرحم التي لا توصل إلا بهما وإكرام صديقهما. Abu Usaid Malik ibn Rabi'ah radiyallahu anhu, Abu Usaid Malik ibn Rabi'ah radiyallahu anhu as-Sa'idi, may Allah be pleased with him, narrated, we were sitting with the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam when a man of Banu Salama came to him and asked, O Messenger of Allah, is there any obedience to parents left that I can show to them after their death? The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, yes, to pray for them, to supplicate for their forgiveness, to fulfill their promises after their death, to maintain the ties of kinship which cannot be maintained except through them, and honor their friends. And this hadith is on Abu Dawood and Sunan in the section of general behavior. Now this hadith is, subhanAllah, it's when we hear the hadith of the three actions, يتبع الميت ثلاثا ويبقى واحد. عفوا. The hadith of the actions that, it's the hadith. Naam. That the actions that benefit the mayyit, or the dead, the person that passes away. One of them are being وَالْوَلَدُ الصَّالِحٌ يَدْعُ لَهُ, and it's the righteous child that makes dua for their parents. So if someone has passed away, if your mother or father has passed away, you making dua for them is a way that you could be righteous towards them. This is one way. How can I be righteous to my parents when they passed away? Is to make dua for them. And that's exactly what the Prophet ﷺ was asked here by the companion. He said, yes, to pray for them, to supplicate for their forgiveness. Yani he said, Naam, as-salatu alayhima. As-salah is not only the salat that we know of praying 5 times a day with the takbir, and salah can also mean dua. So making dua for them. Oh Allah, forgive my father. Oh Allah, forgive my mother. Oh Allah, put them in the highest ranks in Jannah. Right? You're making dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for them in their afterlife, not in this life. We don't make dua for them in this because they've already have passed away. Then he gets a little more specific. He says, and supplicate for their forgiveness. Allahumma gfir li abi, Allahumma gfir li ummi. Oh, al-Ghafur, the all-forgiving, forgive my mother, the all-forgiving, forgive my father. Yal-afu, a'fu anhum, innaka afuun kareem. Oh, the one that pardon my parents, for very you are the most noble. Like this. When you make dua for your parents, you can make dua in this way. You can make dua, no. You can make dua while in prostration. You can make dua with putting your hands up, right? So making dua for them and asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to have mercy upon them. And as the Shaykh mentioned in the ayah, that the individual says, to make dua for them and to ask Allah for their mercy. Irhamhuma kama rabbayani saghira. And to have mercy upon them too, as they have both raised me when I was young. So when you make dua for them, you're making dua for them for any of his beautiful names and attributes in general. But in particular, the Prophet ﷺ said after that to supplicate for their forgiveness. For verily they are not able to, because they have passed away. And to fulfill their promises after their death. To fulfill their promises. So this could be what? Such as what, Jama'ah? إِذَا كَانَ لَهُمْ دَيْنٌ. The dain is what? If they borrowed some money, if they're in debt, to pay off their debts, to pay off their debts. And you can take this from, if you receive their inheritance, paying off their debts with that as well, inshallah ta'ala. And this is why it's important for the Muslim to try their best to abide by what has been specifically stated in the Quran in regards to inheritance, what the children receive. And those of you that want to know more about wills, and there is a friend of mine started a website called Wasiyati, My Wasiyah, Wassiya, if I'm not mistaken. Wassiya, My Wasiyah, Wasiyati website. Check it out, inshallah ta'ala. So it says to fulfill their promises after their death. So anything that they may have left, if they owed somebody something, if they borrowed something from someone, to return it. If whatever they borrowed is mustahlak, or if it is halak, if it is destroyed, then try to repay that person back. Okay? Anything that they owe, any haqq of someone else that is upon them, the way of doing birr is to fulfill that haqq of that person that lended your father or your mother something. And this is how you can be righteous to them. These are all examples of how to be righteous. Then the Prophet to your parents. Then the Prophet ﷺ said, to maintain ties of kinship which cannot be maintained except through them. Now this is interesting. Think of it, our father or our mothers, they may be the ones that everyone in the family, what? Relies on, looks up to, right? And inheritance is important in this regard. Why? Especially for the males. Why am I saying the males? Not to be whatever, but why the males? Sometimes the male, how? He said sometimes the male inheritors deprive the females. How? They don't distribute according to Sharia. Okay, let's say it was distributed according to Sharia, and he is the only son. He has 3 sisters and a mother. No. How would he be someone that is unjust here? He's not taking care of mother with the money that was given by his father. What his father left over $1 million. His father left over a house. He takes the house and he goes and invests in real estate, and then the money he receives from that asset or assets, he doesn't even spend it on his mother. He doesn't pay his mother's rent. He doesn't give the mother the house. The mother already has a house, and he received a house and some land, and he takes all the land for him and his wife. That's not his. It's not his. He's supposed to spend it on his mother and his sisters. His mother and his sisters. Also, the individual, if your father was someone that was well respected in the community, and they all looked up to him or her, and after he passed away, a lot of people have just given up, and some of them given up on life, because he was the one that brought all of you all together, you and your cousins. Every year you all got together. Ramadan, you had iftars together. Let's say on one particular night in Ramadan, everybody comes to your house, ashana walidik, because of your father. And you're the oldest son or the oldest daughter. Try to maintain that tradition. Basically, maintaining family traditions within your culture. This is exactly what is mentioned here, or an example of that. As long as those traditions are not what? Muharram. As long as those traditions are not muharram. So for example, if there's a tradition that, my father always used to get together Ramadan, and then we would play the old music tunes and everyone would dance in the house, and this is la yajuz hada. This is impermissible. So to maintain this tradition, we don't do that. But if it's a tradition that we know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves and that our parents maintain, this is something that is heavily encouraged, and this is what the Prophet ﷺ mentioned, to maintain the ties of kinship. وَصِلَةُ الرَّحْمَ الَّتِي لَا تُوصَلُ إِلَّا بِهِمَا. And he mentioned bihima with both of them, being the parents, the father and the mother. And then he says at the very end, and to honor their friends. And this is the shahid, this is the highlighted portion of why Imam an-Nawawi chose this hadith. The last thing he says, and to honor their friends. To honor their friends. What if there is a friend of your father? Listen closely. A friend of your father that your mother never liked. ايش حتسوي؟ يعني في زميل أبيك صديق أبيك وأمك ما كانت تحبه أبدا. Huh? From her? كيف؟ I love that example. No, really. عن جد, excellent practical example. والله يا شيخ. That's an excellent. When I say give examples, that's what I'm talking about. Don't bring him to the house. Don't bring him to the house, Yani. As long as you don't bring him home. No?
You visit them, not them visit you. He said that you visit them.
ما قال زور أحد بس قال أن تحسن إلى صديق والدك يعني ما قال الزيارة وكذا. But he's just saying كيف تحسن إلى صديق أبيك كيف تحسن إليه هذا السؤال. مثل بإحسان إلى زميل أبيك كما قال somebody said وإكرام صديقهما. You mentioned both of the parents صديقهما لكن أنا مثلت بزميل أبيك. But I give an example of your because this is common. I mean, I know situations to where لا يغرنك. I won't say, let's be told that the father has more than one wife. And the one that persuaded him to marry the other wife is his close friend that they've known for a long time, but she doesn't like him, obviously. Right? But he was a close friend of the family, been a close friend of the family. Okay? So I give an excellent example. What do? That father's friend, his wife may have passed away, he's alone by himself. Maybe after Jum'ah, once a month, take him to Starbucks or take him to any Pax Beneficent coffee owned by Muslim, alhamdulillah, here in Dallas. Right? You take him to the coffee shop, buy him a gift, send him something, Amazon, something. But have the niyyah that, Ya Rabbil Alameen, when you make dua for your father, oh Allah, irham abi waghfir lahu, give me the strength to be good to his friends, exactly like this, inshallah. Yes? Yes. Yes, you can perform Hajj on their behalf. Yes, you can perform Umrah, you can perform Hajj on their behalf. You just can't make Salat on their behalf. Right? And nor fast on their behalf. You can perform Umrah, Hajj on their behalf, inshallah ta'ala. So this is very, very important that I think if we are from this category, then this is inshallah an opportunity for us to implement. And inshallah we at least know one friend of our father or our mother. We can send them a text, send them a gift, especially if we come from, the grass is green here in America. In most other countries, in America, the dollar bill goes much more, the ratio is much more in the other countries. So the dollar bill, if we spend, buy a gift for someone and send it to them, inshallah, with the niyyah, who knows how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will forgive us of a sin that we've committed in the past with this action. And that's what a good deed is. A good deed, when you perform a good deed, it wipes away an evil deed. Now, basic principle. Any good deed that we do wipes away any evil deed. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one that makes that choice. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us of those that are consistent on this and make us of those that practice this action, inshallah. And may Allah have mercy on our parents. May Allah have mercy on our parents. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have mercy on our parents and make us of those that consistently think of them in good. And if we have been wronged by them, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us of those that seek forgiveness from them and ask Allah to have mercy on them and to forgive them for any of their shortcomings. إنه ولي ذلك وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. جزاك الله خير.